not sure that I would say that the future of this space sits in TradFi, but one of the things that I think has been most interesting was that the pre and post FTX era, like pre-FTX, there were a lot of firms that were pretty anti-crypto, and then post-FTX, FTX blows up, implodes, and this like prolific, fraud, everything that happened there. And I thought all of these institutions would pull back massively and be completely hands-off. And I think what most people saw is that there now was a power vacuum, like a massive power vacuum. Whereas before, like FTX was doing everything. They had all of the inside track to the regulatory efforts. They were, they were talking about offering mortgages against their crypto. Like every aspect of what you could do across the finance spectrum, FTX was trying to do. And so one of the biggest things is post that, I saw a lot of these firms like really start to lean in actually, because there seemed to be a lot of latent power to kind of accrue. And I think that's what we're seeing now. Is there a bid for ETF? There's a bid for who is going to pick up these pieces and own that. So I don't think there's ever a doubt that that side of the space will exist and that it's going to be a very massive space. I think it's less clear now than ever who will actually own that and be the front runner. And I think that's what we're seeing now play out as all of these firms come to the forefront and start to support.
Extends back to our founding in 2012. We were founded to solve a problem that our founders saw as an inability to access affordable, fashionable, high-quality garments. To us, we call this making the beauty of fashion accessible to everyone. And Shein has combined a series of technologies, business processes, and cutting-edge machine learning capabilities to deliver on that promise. Our business model is somewhat unique, and it marries two distinct sets of technologies. The first is audience engagement technologies through our mobile app and our web store, and the second is a machine learning empowered supplier management system, which connects our agile supply chain of over 5,000 suppliers into a digital, efficient whole. How does this work? We call it the on-demand business model. What we do is we will start with a limited production of between 100 and 200 copies of any given garment for the entire world. We will then post images of that garment onto our mobile site, onto our web storefront, and we will assess how customers interact with that product offering. Are people clicking on it? Are they pausing on it? Are they sharing it with their friends? Are they adding it to their cart? Are they purchasing it? As these decisions are measured, our machine learning technologies will try to detect a demand signal. If that demand signal is detected, we will make a projection about what quantity of production is necessary to meet the measured demand. And only then, armed with that information, armed with that accurate assessment of demand, will we go back to our agile supply chain. We will put up a potential offer into our supplier management system, and in real time, that supplier management system will identify one of our third-party contract manufacturers with the capability and capacity to produce our estimated demand. That means that rather than having to produce a collection of 1,000 or 10,000 copies of a garment with 3 to 6 months of lead time, we can do that in almost a month.
Never done. Yeah.
Let's stick with TikTok here. It's been a busy month for TikTok. The company fronting the bill for influencers looking to challenge the app's ban in the state of Montana. According to a New York Times report, it's also reportedly planning to launch an online store. And recent management changes with the departure of COO V. Pappas and the arrival of former Disney exec Xenia Mucha. Joining us now to discuss this all is New York Times reporter Sapna Maheshwari. Sapna, great to have you with us.
Thanks for having me.
Let's start off with Montana, because I thought that was interesting, because on the surface, it looks like a big grassroots uprising to protect TikTok, and TikTok is actually paying for all of this.
Yeah, that's right. So basically, when Montana signed this new ban into law last month, a group of 5 creators filed a lawsuit challenging the ban on First Amendment grounds. The case definitely has merits. TikTok, though, made it seem as if it was not involved in the case. We asked multiple times, are you paying for it? Are you involved? They filed their own suit about a week later. But it turns out that they actually are orchestrating the lawsuit, and they are paying the bills, and they finally admitted it this week.
New warnings on doing business in China. A law that takes effect tomorrow has foreign businesses there on edge. Eunice Yoon joins us now from Beijing. Eunice.
Thanks, Melissa. Well, not just one, but two laws. The law of foreign relations as well as the anti-espionage law together cover a broad range of issues on national security and also flag Beijing's heightened focus on security issues over the economy. From a business and investor standpoint, the anti-espionage law is worrisome because it leaves vague what constitutes espionage. It also empowers the authorities to have expanded access and control over corporate data, documents, and other materials in their investigation for these undefined espionage activities. And then both the American as well as the EU Chambers of Commerce have highlighted this as a major problem, saying that the term state secret is so poorly defined, it's really difficult to know how to comply. Now, compounding that is a clause in the new foreign relations law. So this clause requires foreign nationals and operations in China not to endanger China's national security or harm social order. But again, those activities are undefined. In addition to that, the law of foreign relations suggests that Chinese law can override international treaties, be applied overseas with extraterritorial enforcement, law enforcement, and empower countermeasures if China's security and development interests are seen as being violated. But again, that is not in any way defined.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And you know I come back with that video just to make you think.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
And guys, does the future of the crypto space rely on TradeFi? Yes, it does. We know the big corporations and big banks have been funding crypto from the beginning. And guys, at this Collision conference this year, we see how AI is coming on along. And we have Shein using AI and algorithms. They know how long you're on the website, how long you looked at an item, did you share it? And then, of course, they get the demand signal. So we know with all this data, they're going to know you better than you know yourself. It's the same thing when you turn on the radio. They know how long you listen to a song, when you changed it, whether you turned up the volume. And guys, all this technology sits in the background. You don't even see it. So when something goes wrong, who are you going to blame? But we see how these big corporations are going to benefit. And we have the ban on TikTok in Montana. And of course, TikTok sues and funds the influencers' lawsuit. But guys, this is not the first time we've seen this. We've seen this plenty of times. If you look at all the agendas that are out there, we know the big corporations are funding them. And guys, where is all that TikTok data going to? That's right, China. And we have China strengthens their national security starting tomorrow. And this law is for anything that they feel like that's hindering their social security or social order. And this overrides international treaties and applies overseas. And guys, why are they doing this? Because we know the drums are getting louder. We know the main event is right around the corner. How do we know? Because we see the central bank's manipulation is coming to an end. And we know they're ready to bring in the robots, algorithms, and drones and AI. The mainland is going to be private, and Hong Kong is a straw man. And remember, the crypto teacher told you, because he knows. When it comes to the New World Order, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
But every stock, every bond, every currency, every commodity, every piece of art, every private business, every piece of real estate will eventually be a token on a blockchain, an entry on a ledger, permanent and immutable. We will have truth instead of trust, and we will save over $7 trillion a year. 6 to 8% of global GDP is wasted by the friction of the trust industry that's necessary when you have dual entry accounting. With triple entry accounting, which is what a blockchain is, we get rid of all of that friction. It's a beautiful future.
I actually believe this technology is going to be very important. Look at it. We have been part of a huge revolution in investing through ETFs. We believe that ETFs will be changing the whole way we invest. Many people still use it as a means, people are investing it for indexing. No, the majority of people who are putting money in in ETFs are active investors that are buying exposure. The entire bond market is being transformed as we talk right now. I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. And if we could have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. And think about it, it changes the whole ecosystem.
Going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box provided to you by the People's Bank of China.
Cryptoteacher and the New World Order book, plus the 3 kids books. It's time to re-educate. Also, new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance. Do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get on stocks, the Xrp, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing they were still getting that free money, what are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, you know I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids books. You know I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate. Not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Drama Team Save the Village. Part 2. King Joshua and Drama Team Save New York. From COVID-33. Part 3. King Joshua and Drama Team goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.